Shema. Hear, O child of God. Once, in Numbers 22, the Lord opened the mouth of a donkey because a prophet could not see what stood before him. If you have ears to hear, listen, not to me, but to the word. You survived the attack, but you never recovered. You made it through the crisis. You endured the pressure. You fought the battle. And just when you decide to rest, everything rises against it. The phone rings. The thought intrudes. The guilt whispers, you have not done enough. And you wonder, why is it so hard to be still? Because rest is not neutral ground. It is holy ground, and anything God sanctifies, the enemy contests. In Genesis chapter 2, verses 1 through 3, Scripture says, "And on the seventh day God ended his work which he had made, and he rested on the seventh day from all his work which he had made, and God blessed the seventh day and sanctified it." God did not rest because he was tired. He rested to establish a pattern. He sanctified the seventh day, set it apart, because rest is not weakness. It is worship. And if rest is worship, then the enemy will treat it as a threat. In Deuteronomy chapter 25, we are told that Amalek attacked Israel when they were faint and weary. He struck the stragglers, those who fell behind because exhaustion slowed them down. The goal was not merely to injure them, the goal was to prevent recovery. If the enemy can keep you running, he does not need to defeat you. You will collapse on your own. That is why rest is a battlefield. In Mark chapter 2, verse 27, Yeshua says, "The Sabbath was made for man, and not man for the Sabbath." Rest was designed for you. It was a gift given before the law was written, before Moses, before Sinai. God built rest into creation itself, but religion turned rest into a rule. And when rest becomes an obligation instead of a refuge, you stop running toward it. You start running from it. The enemy does not need to destroy rest. He only needs to distort it, make it feel lazy, make it feel selfish, make it feel like something you have not earned. And so you keep going, you keep serving, you keep grinding, and you call it faithfulness when it may be disobedience. In a culture that glorifies hustle, stillness looks like weakness, but Scripture says otherwise. Hebrews chapter 4 verses 9 through 11 declares, "There remaineth therefore a rest to the people of God. For he that is entered into his rest, he also hath ceased from his own works, as God did from his." Let us labor therefore to enter into that rest, lest any man fall after the same example of unbelief. Rest requires intentionality. It requires faith. It requires you to trust that God can sustain what you release. The one who cannot rest is the one who believes everything depends on them. And that is pride disguised as productivity. Consider Elijah. 1 Kings chapter 19. This is a man who had just stood alone against 450 prophets of Baal. He had called down fire from heaven. All of Israel witnessed it. And then Jezebel sent a single threat, and the same man who commanded fire from the sky ran for his life. He sat under a juniper tree and asked God to take his life. One threat undid what felt like an unshakable victory. And what did God do? He did not rebuke him. He did not send a sermon. He sent bread. He sent water. He sent sleep. Twice. God's response to Elijah's collapse was not correction. It was provision. Because God understands what the church often forgets, burnout is not a spiritual failure. It is a human reality that requires a divine response. If you are weary today, God is not angry with you. He is preparing your next meal and your next rest, but you must stop long enough to receive it. Psalm 46 verse 10 says, "Be still and know that I am God." Be still. Not because there is nothing to do, but because there is someone who reigns while you rest. The enemy wants you to believe that stillness is surrender, but stillness before God is the deepest act of war. It declares, I trust the one who never sleeps to guard what I cannot carry. Child of God, if you cannot rest, you cannot resist. A soldier who never sleeps will fall without a single blow. Guard your rest the way you guard your prayer life. Guard it the way you guard your family. They are all connected. Rest is not the absence of battle. It is the preparation for it. Shema. Hear, O child of God, the enemy does not only attack your strength, he attacks your recovery. Sanctify your rest. Refuse the guilt that says you must earn stillness. God rested because the work was complete. You rest because you trust the work is His. Until next time, anchor your heart in the Word.